The movie begins in the small German town of Holtorf, where a young boy named Moritz dreams of football glory. It's the day of the Youth Cup final, and his father Hubert is both coach and proud dad. As Moritz practices his kicks in the kitchen, he accidentally launches the ball onto the breakfast table, earning a sharp scolding. Still, his excitement can't be contained. On the way to the match, he begs his busy mother, Yvonne, to come watch him play. She promises this time she'll be there. At the field, Moritz's team faces their fierce rivals, Eppelingen. The match is tough, the score close. Then comes a golden chance. A pass lands perfectly at Moritz's feet. Time slows. In his imagination, he's no longer a kid in a small town, but a star in the World Cup final for Germany. He goes for a dramatic bicycle kick, and instead of scoring, he kicks the rival goalie right in the face. The whistle blows, the game ends, and Holtorf loses. The team blames him again. Humiliated, Moritz leaves the locker room only to find his mother has arrived late. When they go searching for his father, they find him in the arms of the team secretary. Furious and heartbroken, Yvonne storms off, dragging Moritz with her. She files for divorce and drives to Eppelingen to live with her grumpy father, Rudi, a retired mechanic and former footballer. The adjustment isn't easy. Rudi barely speaks to his grandson, still bitter from old wounds. But Yvonne tries to cheer Moritz up, promising maybe he can join the local youth team. The next morning, Rudi takes him to meet Coach Rothkirch, once Rudi's best friend, now a rival. When Moritz tries out, he realizes with horror that the team's captain is Mark, the same goalkeeper he kicked in the nose during the final. Mark and his friends gang up, pelting him with footballs until Rudi storms in and drags Moritz away. The next day at his new school, Moritz meets a kindred spirit named Ennis, whose parents are also divorcing. Ennis introduces him to his friends Nico, Emma, and Katrina, kids who love football but have no real team. Their fun is cut short when Mark and the Eppelingen players show up again, mocking them and kicking their ball away. Instead of backing down, Moritz gets an idea. They'll start their own team. They find an abandoned lot near a landfill, and despite the trash and weeds, Moritz declares it their home field. Using scraps, lawnmowers, and old junk, they build their own pitch. At registration for the next Youth Cup, Moritz proudly enters the team name, the Devil's Kickers. When asked who the coach is, he impulsively writes his grandfather's name, Rudi. Training begins, but without a real coach, it's chaos. During one scuffle with Mark's gang, they're rescued by a daring group of parkour kids led by Alex, a streetwise boy with acrobatic skills. Impressed, Moritz invites him to join. That night, he visits Rudi at his security job to ask for help. But the old man only reminisces bitterly about the past, how both he and Rothkirch loved the same woman, Moritz's late grandmother, and how that love turned friends into enemies. Moritz goes home disheartened, but training continues. Alex brings his parkour friends, turning the team into a wild blend of misfits: Sleepy, Tim, Colin, Constance, Andy, and Shadow. They're athletic, creative, but unorganized, missing more goals than they make. Tension brews when Moritz becomes obsessed with beating Mark instead of enjoying the game. Katrina, talented but frustrated, calls him out and storms off, revealing later that Mark is her half-brother and that her strict stepfather, Rothkirch, forbids her from playing football because she's a girl. Still, she refuses to quit. During their first official match, the Devil's Kickers get crushed 12-0 by Eppelingen. Morale collapses, then disaster strikes again. Bulldozers arrive to clear their practice field for construction. But Moritz isn't done. That night, he sneaks his friends into the shopping mall where Rudi works as a guard. Using his security card, they train secretly inside the dark, empty corridors. Their laughter echoes until Rudi catches them. Furious at first, he confronts Moritz but surprises everyone by saying he knows exactly what's going on. He's seen their effort, their spirit. Instead of scolding them, he decides to become their real coach. Under Rudi's guidance, everything changes. He teaches them discipline, teamwork, and precision, how to hold the ball, control their tempo, and trust one another. Training moves everywhere, even in a pottery shop where they dribble around clay pots. Slowly, the team transforms. 4 days later, they face their next opponent, Walper. Before the game, Rudi gifts them proper uniforms, but warns they'll have to win to keep them. The match starts rough, but when Alex scores a dazzling spinning goal, the Devil's Kickers claim their first victory. Afterward, Moritz runs into his father outside the diner. Hubert apologizes for everything, trying to reconnect. But Moritz isn't ready to forgive him and walks away. Back at practice, Rudi pushes the team harder, telling them they've only beaten the weakest squad. They must grow stronger. Their effort pays off, and they advance through the next rounds, winning match after match. But in every triumph, small cracks remain. Moritz and Katrina still clash, both wanting to lead. During one game, their argument costs them a goal, and the team barely scrapes by. In the quarterfinals, Rothkirch's daughter Katrina defies his orders and sneaks out to play. Her father arrives mid-match, just in time to see her shine, dribbling through defenders and scoring a magnificent goal. When she earns a penalty, Moritz takes it and ties the game. They win again, moving to the semifinals. But Mark's team mocks them afterward, saying they'll never reach the final. Moritz challenges Mark to a bold street contest. Whoever keeps the ball for 5 minutes wins. The mall turns into a battlefield as both sides chase the ball through escalators, fountains, and busy streets. Security guards shout, people scatter, but the Devil's kickers refuse to back down. Finally, Moritz catches the ball just as time runs out. His first real victory over Mark. The team cheers, laughing in the chaos. Later, as the excitement fades, whispers spread about Alex's past. Ennis asks if the rumors are true, that his brother died because of him. Hurt, Alex runs off. Moritz follows him home, where Alex reveals the truth. Years ago, he left his younger brother alone to play a critical match. When he returned, his brother had been in an accident. Ever since, Alex has carried that guilt. Moritz comforts him, but Alex refuses to play again. The next morning, the semi-final begins without him. The Devil's kickers struggle, facing Eppelingen once more. The referee, secretly bribed by Rothkirch, ignores foul after foul until Eppelingen wins 1-0. Katrina's mother, who overheard her husband's corruption, stays silent but knows the truth. After the loss, everything unravels. Rudy is fired by Rothkirch, Yvonne still can't find work, and Moritz lashes out, blaming her for everything. Their argument leaves her in tears. That night, Hubert arrives with shocking news. Rothkirch's cheating has been exposed, thanks to Katrina's mother. The Devil's kickers are reinstated and will face Holtorf, Hubert's team, in the grand final. Moritz rushes to share the news with Katrina. Sneaking to her window, he apologizes for not trusting her and promises they'll win together. But before she can climb out, Mark appears, furious and spoiling for a fight. He punches Moritz, but this time the boy fights back and breaks Mark's nose again. As the kids regroup, tragedy nearly strikes. Rudy, drunk and heartbroken, stumbles into the road and is hit by a truck. The next morning, the team rushes to the hospital. Rudy survives, but with a broken leg, unable to coach in the final. Moritz refuses to give up. Game day arrives. Yvonne steps forward and announces she'll coach the team in her father's place. Hubert, stunned but proud, wishes her luck. Moments before kickoff, Alex returns, ready to face his fears and rejoin the team. Everyone welcomes him with open arms. Over the phone from the hospital, Rudy offers Yvonne guidance, but she's clueless about football. When the team falls 2-0 behind, she compares strategy to baking a cake. 3 eggs in the pan, she says. Confused, the boys look at each other, until Moritz deciphers her code. She means 3 up front, he shouts. The team switches formation. Suddenly, everything clicks. Alex performs acrobatic flips, scoring a spectacular goal. The crowd erupts. Moments later, another spinning kick ties the game. Tension builds. Then, in the dying minutes, Shadow sends a perfect pass to Moritz. Time slows again. The World Cup fantasy flashes before his eyes, but this time, he resists the urge to play alone. Instead, he traps the ball and bicycle kicks it toward Katrina, who smashes it into the net. The final whistle blows. The Devil's kickers are champions. The crowd explodes in joy. Hubert congratulates Yvonne and embraces his son. The family is whole again. Rudy, listening from the hospital, smiles proudly. Moritz walks over to Katrina and thanks her for finishing his pass. She smiles and says, "We did it together." The camera lingers on them, their team holding the cup high, shining under the floodlights. Maybe someday, Moritz will get his real World Cup moment, but for now, he's already scored the goal that truly mattered. If you were in Moritz's shoes, would you have taken that shot or passed the ball like he did? Tell me in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story of friendship, family, and redemption, don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch more incredible movie recaps, where every story reminds us that teamwork, heart, and belief can turn even the biggest losers into legends.